Hey, what's up you guys? My name's Lindsay and you're watching my channel, A Sight to See. I just spent the past 26 days traveling through Switzerland. I went to Geneva, Bern, Interlaken, Lauterbrunnen, Grindelwald, Fisch, Zermatt, and Lucerne. I think it's really funny that I originally had a week and a half planned for Switzerland and that was just nowhere near enough. When I told everybody that I was spending so much time in Switzerland, their first reaction was, "You can afford that?" And I'm just like, is it really that bad? Because I mean, no, I don't have a super expensive budget out here. Like, I'm trying to make my money stretch for 5 months. No, I don't have too much to be spending. So I needed to go and find out for myself how expensive Switzerland really is. And to be honest, the results might shock you. So I have a budget of $77 a day for my entire trip, which will also leave me with some money to come home with. So that's cool. I try not to go above it. If I do go above it one day, then I try to spend less the next day so it evens out. So I'm going to break down for you guys exactly how much I spent, where I spent it, and how I saved money traveling Switzerland for 26 days. All right, so we're gonna start with accommodation, which was, to be honest, the most expensive part of the trip, obviously. My cheapest hostel was $32.17 a night at the Tent Village in Interlaken. Oh my God, it was like probably one of the coolest places I stayed there. It was great atmosphere, great people. I loved that you got to sleep in tents. Wasn't, I guess, the most comfy, but like the atmosphere made up for it. They had a hot tub, they had a trampoline, they had hammocks, they had a bar, they had games. You could just stand under the stars at night and it was just insane seeing all these beautiful mountains around you. Probably by far the best one that I stayed at. And the most expensive place I stayed at was Hotel Pergola in Bern. It was 101 a night, but it was a hotel and it was pretty fancy. Granted, I only had a twin-sized bed, so that's kind of a lot for a small room. But all the hostels were booked out by the time I got there and I didn't really have a choice, so I only spent 2 nights there. I spent 19 nights in hostels and 7 nights in hotels. The other hotel I stayed at was the cheapest place for me to stay in Fisch. It was called Hotel Park and that cost me $52 a night and I stayed there for 5 nights. And honestly, kind of missed the hostel life after that. I was like, man, I'm lonely. So I spent a total of $1,173.73 on accommodation for 26 days. Which, if you add all of those stays together and divide it by 26, it's about $45 on accommodation a day, giving and taking the really high places I stayed at and the really low places I stayed at. Really low, not really low, but you know what I'm saying. So next we're gonna talk about food and drink. If you wanna go out to eat in Switzerland, you're going to need a lot higher of a budget than I had. I went out to eat once in my 26 days. Excluding the one time I bought fries from Burger King because everything was closed because it's Sunday. Everything's closed on Sundays. But I spent $27 for myself on some cheese fondue, and that was my big splurge because everybody told me that I needed to try the cheese fondue while I was in Switzerland. Totally worth it, you have to do that. But for the other 25 days, I did just go to the grocery store. They have the Coop, they have Migros, they have dinner, and they're all pretty affordable. Like, if you are staying in a hostel and you have a kitchen, you can make rice, you can make pasta, you could cook meat, you could make sandwiches, you could have yogurt, fruit's really good there. So you do have a lot of options and you'll save a lot of money if you just shop at grocery stores. So I only spent $417.04 on all my food and drinks when I was in Switzerland over the course of 26 days. And that equals out to $16 a day. There were some days where I would buy like a bag of pasta and sauce and I can make that stretch for 3 days, so I wouldn't have to buy anything else. And the best thing about Switzerland is you can drink the tap water and it is so good tasting. I never had to buy bottled water. I bought 1 bottle at the beginning and I just kept refilling it for the next 26 days and that was all I needed. Okay, so the next expense we're gonna talk about is the trains and cable cars. You take the cable cars up to the top of the mountains that you can't hike, like the ones that are 5,000–6,000 meters high, because that's pretty strenuous, especially if I'm trying to film and want to walk around for a few hours at the top of these mountains. And then also my Eurail pass didn't cover all the trains there. I did have to buy some extra train tickets that was not covered in the network. So if you do have a Eurail pass and you're coming to Switzerland, you gotta make sure that you buy the pass for like the Jungfrau region. But I wound up taking 9 trains and buses, and I took 3 cable cars, which equaled out to $214.34. Most of the cable cars were like $40 a piece for a round trip ticket. And the trains and buses were anywhere from $2 to like $30. But I did get discounts on the trains with my Ural Pass, maybe like an $8 discount. So at least I got something. All right, and for 26 days worth of data, I spent $73.55 on SIM cards. I originally bought one for $50 at the airport, and it said it was unlimited data, but like 21 days in, it ran out, and I was just like, how did I run out of unlimited data? Somebody tried to explain it to me in Swiss German and I was just very confused. But apparently it takes away like 1 franc and 50 cents a day for that unlimited data. And I put in, I guess, enough for, I don't really know what happened. So I had to go to the post office and buy another one for another 20 francs. That lasted me the rest of the 5 days I was there. So yeah, that wound up equaling $73.55, which is still a lot better than if you take, say, Verizon's international data plan at $10 a day. That's ridiculous. You would be spending like $300 a month. Get an unlocked phone and get a SIM card when you get out here from one of the providers because it will save you so much money. It saved me $225. Okay, so for all of my accommodation, food, drinks, trains, cable cars, and my phone, I spent a grand total of $1,879.66. For 26 days in Switzerland. I know people who budget $1,000 to $2,000 for a week trip, but I got to see one of the most expensive countries in Europe for basically an entire month for under $2,000, and I think that's pretty awesome. So it is totally doable if you are on a budget and you want to see the beautiful country of Switzerland because, oh my god, it was mind-blowing. It was the most beautiful place I've ever been in my entire life. If you're coming to Europe, do it. You can make it affordable if you work hard enough, if you research enough, if you're willing to make some sacrifices with where you're staying. I've never had a bad experience in a hostel in Switzerland. Everyone was always super nice, so don't not stay in a hostel. Like, it's worth it. If you're there to see the mountains and you're there to see the scenery, it will save you a ton of money as opposed to staying at $100 hotels every night. Don't forget, that was $100 for one person. If there was 2 people, would have been more. The only other thing that I paid for while I was there was one hostel I had to pay for my shower. It was like 50 cents for 5 minutes. It was a cheaper hostel, so it was worth it. I spent $10 on laundry, because thankfully someplace did wash my clothes for free once while I was there, so I was just like, awesome, saving money. And then I bought myself and some people a souvenir, and I got a stamp. So the total of all of that was another $59.78 for my grand total. And this wouldn't be you because who knows what you're gonna buy souvenir-wise, shower-wise. So I wasn't counting this in like the actual budget. This is just like my adjusted budget. So my extra budget spending was $1,939.44, which means that I spent, if you take all of that and divide it by 26, I spent about $74 a day. So I stayed in my budget, which is crazy to me because I thought, at least in Switzerland, I was gonna go way over my budget and have to make up for it in the cheaper countries I'm going to, like Hungary and Croatia. I would just like to also point out that budgetyourtrip.com puts Switzerland at the top for the most expensive countries and says that you need an average of 178 euros per day, which is about 196 US dollars. You were wrong, budgetyourtrip.com. Can't speak for the plane tickets because I did not take a plane into Switzerland. But if I've learned anything about plane tickets, I just know you gotta keep checking them. Just keep checking them long before your trip and I'm sure you will find a reasonable price somewhere. All right guys, so thank you for watching my video and hopefully this gave you a little more insight onto how expensive Switzerland really is because people will scare you by saying like, oh my god, don't go to Switzerland, it's so expensive. But if I could do it on my budget, on my backpacker budget, so can you. If you like this video, please smash that subscribe button for more travel tips and ways to save money while you're backpacking. All right guys, I will catch you all in the next one.